Welcome back to the channel. I'm Hannah and I run an in-home sourdough microbakery in Fort Myers, Florida called Crusty Cravings. I do weekly pickups from my house and I have two other partner locations that I rotate with. I am doing pickups at all three locations this week, and so I started everything a day early. I do my dough day on Wednesdays. I bake everything on Thursdays, let it all cool, package it, and get it ready for Friday morning, which is when my three pickups start. I'm offering pickups at Forever Grounded in downtown Fort Myers, at 239 Nutrition in Naples, and my house in the Estero area. So it's a busy week. I've added a few new menu items, including pop-tarts, and I have about 40 of those to make. I'm doing all of my pastries and my baked goods and my muffins later tonight, so they are the freshest as possible. The bread has to cool for around 4 to 5 hours before I can package it, so I had to start that earlier. And once that gets packaged, I have other things like pizza to do, and I've already done my baguettes. So I'm gonna take you along for that process. I hope you enjoy. Yeah.
Guess what? Xavier said this. He said, tomorrow I'll bring a PS1.
To school?
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
So all of us can play whatever we want.
Well, there's no school today, so.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm saying after the week.
What is going on, sir?
Mama.
What?
Mommy!
Getting ready for the day, and there's this huge pimple on my forehead. He's in the bedroom. I'm seriously in love with my demi baguettes. They make the best appetizers and best Italian sandwiches. She is beauty, she is grace, she is the moment. I always have a favorite loaf of the week, and this might be it. I did a single caddy class method on all of my loaves this week. I felt like they didn't need as much tension, and they did turn out beautiful. This is my loaf pan shape. A lot of my customers prefer this because it's easier to slice and toast. I do have a new process for how I bake loaves in my Pico Plus oven, and it's really just a temperature and time difference, and a tiny bit less steam. Now I only use about 120 to 130 milliliters of steam, and in addition, I am starting at a different temperature, so I start at 210 top, 190 bottom for 7 minutes with steam. And then I release steam just through the vents after 7 minutes. And I allow them to be in there for maybe like 15 more minutes. And then I rotate them once. And I basically just bake until I feel like they are golden brown and very even colored. That takes maybe a total of like 45 minutes. And it just depends on like what type of loaf I'm baking. It could take as little as 35 minutes to 45 minutes, but it's all about the color preference I have. I feel like I have to clean it every time I do an inclusion. One of the scores that I've really been liking, especially on these smaller, rounder loaves, is like 2 slits like that. I kind of want to try the... Actually worked very well. I was worried about that. I always put a little bit of garlic seasoning on top of my garlic and herb loaves. Okay, so the top of the oven has been preheated to 250, the bottom 220. I'm putting in these 8 mini loaves. And then I put in the steam. Close the vent. Drop it to 210 top, 190 bottom. Okay. Not yet, not yet. Not yet. 1 second. One second. Okay, so now we just leave that for 7 minutes. So it's already been 7 minutes. I just vent the steam by opening these vents. Take what off? Oh my goodness, your shirt? Go, you know, Tootie. Steam will still stay in there. It will just slowly release from the oven. I'm raising the top temp to 230, bottom temp to 210, and I'm doing the same with this bottom oven. What do you need? Mascugo? Okay, go. It's 10 a.m. and I'm finally making my iced coffee and my breakfast. So good. I have an espresso machine. I'm so thankful that I bought it. It's a Gebby. It's been going for like 3 years and it is the cheapest one. I think it was like $150 when we bought it. So worth it. Working on my omelet over here. I'm actually trying to be kind of healthy today. Most of the time I just forget to eat. It's been another 15 minutes at this higher temp, and now I actually rotate my loaves. The back of the oven runs hotter than the front, and so just rotating once is sufficient. A lot of people ask me about my ovens, if I still like them. I obviously love them. I've had them for the last 7+ months. I talk about them all the time, but people still ask me, like, what brand is your oven? It is a Pico Plus bread oven by Chanley. I have 2 of them. They're separate units. They have to plug into separate outlets, but I can also bake at 2 different temperatures. I love them, love them. It's taken some time to really tweak my process and perfect each time temperature and steam process for each baked good that I make, but I really do love it. I think it's a great investment. Each one is about $3,200, and the competitors are anywhere from, I think the lowest is like $7,500, maybe even just $8,500 now, up to around $10,500. So it honestly just depends on your budget and kind of what you're looking for, but I love them. So I just rotate from front to back one time. Do the same on the bottom. And if my loaves are too explosive, I will have to adjust them. Like this one kind of got super puffy. Otherwise, super simple. Okay, just Okay. So now they just bake until they're fully brown. The mini ones take maybe 15 more minutes. The big ones take 20 to 22 more minutes. It's really just a matter of preference, like how dark you like your loaves. This is what I'm going for. Like a very even brown on all sides. And this takes about 40-ish minutes, 45 minutes. The top mini loaves are already done. They're done a few minutes before the rest. I'm looking for them to be really lightweight, so if for some reason they're not lightweight, I think they need more time in the oven, so I'll keep them in the oven for a little bit longer. But they're golden brown. These mini loaves are my favorite. They're just so cute. Bottom is officially done. These are the bigger loaves, and there's a couple minis in there that I just left in there for a few more minutes. Perfect. Whenever I do a single caddy clasp, my loaves are a lot longer. They aren't as dramatically tall. but they always look so beautiful. And it's crazy because it's just a minimal amount of tension during shaping. I love it. Here's all the loaves. I took a short break to homeschool for about 2 hours, and now I am back to baking. I've been letting my pizza dough puff up this whole time and proof at room temperature so it's easy to handle. Par-baked pizza crusts have easily become one of my top sellers. They aren't that challenging to make. They are pretty simple ingredients, so they're pretty cost effective, and I'm able to sell them for around $8 each. And I mainly do that because of the extra labor of having to proof the pizza dough, let it come to room temperature, puff up again, shape it, par bake it, package it. That process in and of itself is quite a long time. But if I'm able to sell about 20 crusts or so a week, it's definitely worth it for me. I get 4 pizza doughs ready to go, and I will shape those and poke holes in them and bake them for about 5 minutes until they look like they're fairly baked through. They look like they're fully cooked, but they're not browning completely on the top. We don't want them to completely brown because my customers do that at home. All they do is either freeze them or use them within a couple of days. They top them and they bake them at 500 for 10 to 15 minutes until it's crispy. And so it's a very simple, easy dinner. I have a lot of them in the freezer now, and I literally take them out of the freezer, top them, and bake them whenever we need a quick and easy dinner. And I'm not having to buy store-bought frozen pizza. So it's an amazing alternative, that's for sure. But I'm going to show you how I shape these. I actually get a little bit of cornmeal and put that on the bottom. I ran out of my other flour, so we're just going to stick with cornmeal today. I do get a little bit of oil on my hands. It makes it easier to work with the dough. And then I also have a little tool that allows me to poke holes in it easily. All right, so I'm just going to give you an example here of what I do after they are fully ready to dump out and shape. Nice and puffy and extendable. Go ahead and take that off. I will take a tiny bit of cornmeal. Just dump it right on there. It will slowly release from the cup by itself. Like, I don't really need to try to get it out. And I oiled these plastic cups so they just come right out, and I can reuse these. Okay, so how I personally start with shaping my pizza crust is dimpling the middle and working my way to the crust. I will take my knuckles and just use gravity to allow this dough to expand by itself. Kind of take my thumbs and pull the dough as I'm going around. And I don't want it to stretch too far or it'll start to tear. So that's about as far as I go. And I just use the palms of my hands to spread it out a little bit more. If you ever think about me. Now, after these are completely shaped, I just take this little tool, got it from Restaurant Depot, and poke holes in it. This allows it to bake without having like huge gas bubbles that pop up in the middle. Kind of prevents that from becoming like a pita, if you will. Now that the pizza shells are ready to go in the oven, or the pizza crusts, whatever you want to call them, I'm just going to bake them for 5 minutes. I set the top of my oven to 250 Celsius, or actually 240 Celsius. Bottom is 250. The reason being, I was noticing the tops are browning too quickly, and I just want the bottom temperature to be hot enough to bake the bottom, but I don't want the top to get too brown. So I turned it down by 10 degrees on the top. Slide these in and bake for 5 minutes. I do not rotate the pizza crust. Bottom is good. Set a timer for 5 minutes. It's been about 5 minutes. They have been in here. And what I'm looking for is that the bottom of the crusts are starting to brown, but the tops aren't like completely brown or black. This one browned a little too much. Normal to have like a brown spot, but I don't want it to be black. And now I do it all over again. Everything has cooled off enough to where I can bag everything. I just don't want extra condensation in the bag, and so I wait for plenty of time for everything to cool down just to make sure that there's no steam being released. Packaging is my least favorite part of the whole process, but it's a necessary process. I am gonna do all of my classics first. I get these bags off of the TikTok shop. I have them linked on my TikTok shop store. I'm on the home stretch, and then I'm starting all of my baked goods. I just have too many loaves, and then I have 11 baguettes to bag. Leave it to me to only make Pop-Tarts a few times ever, and then now I have to make them in bulk. I'm making 40 Pop-Tarts today. I don't think I'm making 60, sorry.
There's too much person.
I think the smartest thing I've ever done is prep a ton of grated butter. I put all of my butter in a food processor with a tiny bit of flour and crush it up. I take the butter frozen and put it in the food processor, and then it just makes these like nice little pieces of butter, and I just stuck it in the bag and froze it, and now all I'm having to do is dump all this butter into my Pop-Tart mixture, and I'm not having to worry about it today. So I think I'm going to do that for all of my big bulk dough days and prep weeks, especially for markets. I think it's going to make my life so much easier. This is what I'm working with today. Now I'm just going to dump all of this grated frozen butter into the dry mix. Do this. Then I'll break it up with my hands. Okay, now we have the discard mixture. need a few tablespoons of water, I think. I'm not even gonna lie to you, this dough is making me nervous. Okay, the dough is like together enough and cohesive enough that I think I could go ahead and dump it out on the counter. And I'm supposed to form it into this like giant rectangle and roll it. Anything laminated is not really my strength because you have to measure. Every Pop-Tart has to be the same size, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. Guess we'll find out. So form it into a rectangle. And then I'm supposed to start rolling it. Let's see what we're working with here. It's just like a giant pie crust. I really wish I had like that dough sheeter tool right about now. Have you ever seen those things that like the croissants go through? That makes it like really flat and smooth. I had to trust the process because this dough felt so crumbly and hard to work with, but after you roll it, the butter starts softening and melting, and then it's easier to work with. I think this is as thin as I'm gonna go. And now I have to make this into 40 Pop-Tarts. I've literally made one Pop-Tart, and I'm already regretting my decision to make 40 Pop-Tarts. Remind me that if baking requires a ruler, to just not do that kind of baking. So I guess you could say it's going really well. What is going on? Oh, why did I do this? Why did I make 40 of them? Update, I've gotten 9 of 40 done. I don't know how often I'm gonna be doing Pop-Tarts. It doesn't seem to make sense with how much work it is to put these on the menu all the time. It is a mess over there, so please ignore that. I took a break from shaping all of my Pop-Tarts. I have a few left. I had like the slivers on the sides and the top that I was able to bunch up into a ball, but now it's like too warm to roll out again. So I have to chill it again, roll it again, and then cut more. I only need 4 more strawberry Pop-Tarts, and then I'm done with all of those. But it took me almost 3 hours to do Pop-Tarts. 3 hours for 40 Pop-Tarts. I can bust out a bunch of scones in way less time, and I charge about the same amount. Pop-Tarts are not worth it. They're not worth it. I'll show you what they look like. So they did turn out pretty decent as far as the shape, but I'm chilling them before I bake them because I felt like the dough got too warm when I was working with it. And so chilling the dough I think is gonna help keep the filling in and help it keep its shape a little bit better. I'm just worried that the butter is like gonna melt too fast out of the dough and it's not gonna puff up as well. So we're gonna chill it for a little bit longer before I bake it. And now I'm moving on to English muffins. So I have this little contraption that I have created for my English muffins, and my English muffins have now puffed up, and now I can bake about 10 at a time or so. So I'm gonna go ahead and put as many on as I can. I usually do sprinkle a bit of cornmeal just directly on here so it doesn't stick. And I bake them for about 5 minutes on each side, and then I'm gonna finish them in the oven. So I'm gonna go ahead and preheat the oven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I can do about 12, 10, 11. And then let's see. I can do one more. Dang, I feel like they overproofed just slightly, but it's gonna be fine. So 5 minutes on each side. Okay, it has been 5 minutes, so now I just have to flip these suckers. Some of them got really nice and puffy, and others are a little bit over fermented. That's okay. So now that they have been baked for 5 minutes on each side, they won't be completely done in the center, so I just transfer them to a baking sheet and put them in my oven for like maybe 6 more minutes or so until they are fully baked. Okay. It's already 8 p.m. and I'm only just now starting cookies. It's gonna be a long night. It's time for me to do my coffee cake muffins. These are one of my best sellers. It's a vanilla batter with a cinnamon swirl and crumble topping. So now I add the crumble topping. Just apply a generous amount to the top. Okay, now these go into the oven for about 20-ish minutes. Okay, a little update, I look tired AF. My cookies, halfway through with baking my cookies. Alright. So when they first get out of the oven, I did this like little swivel thing. Show you. With this donut cutter or biscuit cutter. Just to make sure that they are perfectly round. Stick about 5 chocolate chips in each cookie. So they look like bakery cookies. They are bakery cookies, but just to make them look even more so like bakery cookies. Tired, y'all. Honestly, think that Pop-Tarts slowed me down so much. I didn't anticipate that it was going to take me a little over 3 hours with mixing the dough, rolling it, cutting, filling, putting an egg wash, sealing, and then just putting them in the fridge. Like, they're not even baked yet. And then plus baking takes about 20 minutes, and then I also have to glaze them. So to me, it feels a little excessive. Whereas like scones, I feel like they just don't take as much work. And that's what they look like all done. It's already 11:30. I'm ridiculously tired. I still have to make my cheddar, chive, and garlic scones. I have to finish baking my Pop-Tarts. I have to glaze all of them. I have to sprinkle some of them with sprinkles. I have to package still. It's a disaster. So I'm gonna call it a night, but thank you for coming along with me on my big day. I think I'll probably be up till 1:30 getting everything ready, and then tomorrow are pickups. So I'm taking a batch of orders to the Commons first thing in the morning, and then I have to go to Naples and take the second orders, and then I come home and I have pickups at home from 12 to 7. So I'm gonna be tired. I'm gonna try to get everything packaged and cleaned and go to bed soon. The infamous Pop-Tarts that better be worth it. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.